welcome to Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. What's good, Henrik the Wreck?
I'm doing great. Hey, we got a new time, and this is a new era for us. I'm feeling good about it. I'm sure you're excited as well, though.
I'm very excited, man. It's prime time, baby. Let's enjoy the ride. This is going to be so much fun, and I just want to take a moment for anybody that's tuning in to Henrik the Wreck stream. Go ahead and scan my QR code, and you'll be able to subscribe to my YouTube channel and take a moment as well for my boy, Henrik the Wreck. Man, you look at style and profile. Woo! So we always like to start off the show with the bang, and we always look across the web to see what's going viral. What is some of those kind of goofy things that's been circling around the globe? And Mortal Kombat 1, turns out, is the perfect canvas for modders. Instead of likes of Sub-Zero, Scorpion, or Liu Kang tearing each other to threads, you ever considered making a video game with, let's say, DreamWorks versus Pixar's? Well, that's exactly what's been going down. It is insane. So what people have been doing is they've been putting Woody from Toy Story, or let's say Mr. Incredible from The Incredibles, or Rick and Morty, or that old guy from Up, Henrik?
Oh, yeah.
Who knew that he could put the beat down? And if you don't know what I mean, we got the clip for you, fam.
Hey, stop that!
Oh, he dodged it!
Get him, Meeseeks!
Oh, no! No!
Get body slammed!
No! That's not cool.
Stay still!
Hey, if Fortnite can do it, it works here too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of people are probably wondering, how is this okay compared to, some of the other drama revolved around Palworld, for example? There was a guy that immediately turned it into a Pokemon game and got threatened by Nintendo. Yep. You kind of wonder where Pixar and DreamWorks are thinking. Do they care? Is this good publicity, bad publicity? But the first comment that we got here is, unironically, a Disney fighting game would go hard. I agree. If they can make a Marvel versus Capcom,
I think it's possible to do this too. Yeah, no, right? Definitely.
What has Gramps been teaching little bro? I feel you, fam.
He came out with the Glock.
Exactly. Hey, that's my mod. And yes, we definitely wanted to give you a huge shout out. Toasted, you are the gentleman who has created this badass mod. So if you're a part of the world of modding, you definitely want to get your hands all over that. But also, there's been probably easily in the year of the Mamba. This is probably the #1 streamer right now. Jinxie, is that how you pronounce his name? Is that what the cool kids would be calling him right now, Henrik?
It looks like it, yeah.
Well, the thing is, everybody likes to either love the kid or hate the kid. I don't know about you, but I think his trash talk is next level, and we've all wanted to be this guy before. But the fact that you're even able to capture it in real time, this is golden. This is awesome. This is one of my favorite gaming clips so far in the month of January.
Wait, tournament time. Hello, Score. I'd like to personally introduce you to the Gulag. Hope you enjoy your stay. Shred, what's good, brother? I would wish you the best of luck, but it's going to take a gosh darn miracle to win this series. But good luck, friendo. Lou, what's good, man? It's Daddy. Well, Jinxie. Well, yeah, I'm your daddy. Lou, I brought you into this game. I'm going to be honest, Lou, I made you. So now it's time to delete you. All right. Jaden Guns, what's up, son number 2? Same thing I said to Lou, man. I made you, bro. I really did. So now it's time for me to hit Control-Alt-Delete on the file known as jguns.exe. Welcome to the Shadow Realms. T-Fac, what's good, baby? You know I love you. Good luck, man. Let's get it. Come on. Let's go. Come on, let's get it. Come on, let's go.
So let's go ahead and dive deep into the first comments, because right here we have, get this broke clown off my screen. Bro is definition of unfunny. Calm down, Matthew. It's just the internet. Please don't cry. Why do people always feel the need to put negativity out there? That I will never understand.
They're just upset that they're not him.
That's true, because one guy, Derek, he thinks he's got the goofy Jim Carrey energy. Are you vibing with that? I can see that a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of it. I mean, you can't really, it's hard to beat Jim Carrey.
Hard to beat Jim Carrey. Absolutely.
But he's got a little bit of inspiration there, maybe, yeah.
Right? Laughing my ass off. Bro, a real life menace. Can't do that on the PlayStation. Them boys will report you for harassment. Isn't that the truth? I mean, there is even reports out that even Call of Duty, for example, has already banned 2 million players ever since they introduced their, their toxic report.
Yep.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Would that deviate you away from the consoles? I know you're not much of a shit talker. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I mean, okay. The glory days of Call of Duty, as people call them, were the Modern Warfare 2 lobbies where you went in and immediately someone's already dropping a racial slur. But
yeah, I know, right?
Is it really necessary? No, not really. I think when you sit down and play a game, at the end of the day, you want to have some fun.
That's got to be pretty legendary, though.
Someone.
Yeah, true. It probably would be pretty legendary to be inside a gaming lobby and then out of nowhere you get this voice message and it's from Jinxie.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. So if you were one of those individuals, that is very, very fun. But, esports, it's definitely very prevalent. It's something that's not going to be going away anytime soon. If anything, it's elevating to the next level. And who would have thought that this game that I'm about to show you actually has an esports tournament? And why spoil it? Let's let you guys view it for yourself.
Of course, for the opponent as well. So let's just wait and see how it's going to play out. But I really like the fact that Palworld at the top. He's still trying to get the top a little bit there. But
Farming simulator?
It's like, oh, back in my day, I had to wake up at 3 a.m. and go run the tractor. Yeah. Well, in my day, I had to go up and on a stage and run the tractor on a computer.
I mean, of all the games you could be playing, or let's say even the games that you choose to even be a professional in the esports realm, Farming Simulator? Okay, I know. Now I'm starting to sound a bit like a hater. Well, let's go to the comments and see what the people around the world have been saying. If you could get people to remotely control actual farming equipment and convince people it's just new farming sim game, you can essentially get people to pay you to farm for you. Maybe that end part kind of lost me, but you kind of got me at the first half. It could be a powerful learning tool. I'd be so embarrassed playing this in front of them. Yeah, I mean, you never know. Look, Grandpa, I told you I'd grow up to be a farmer just like you. So, I mean, hey, listen, it might be something that be for you, and maybe you might have an esports future coming for the Farmer Simulator. But hey, we got a comment here that says, what's up, y'all? Hey, just want to let you guys know that I like the time switch for the show. Heck yeah, keep it up. I appreciate it. Scotty Young, thank you so much, brother.
Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. But hey, since you guys are here to join along for the ride, I think it's time to rock and roll. You ready to kick off this show, HenricK the Wreck?
Absolutely. I'm ready to rage.
Hey, let's get it, fam. Woo!
Hey everyone, this is Pause or Repeat. Here we figure out whether a game is really worth your time and money. Today's game is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. There is quite some anticipation on what they've done with this one. This is because the series hasn't seen a new game outside of mobile phone games or remakes since 2010. So let's take a look at the gameplay and find out. The gameplay of Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is that of a Metroidvania, a genre inspired, as the name suggests, by what the 2D Metroid and Castlevania games have done. Specifically, there's a lot of backtracking for secrets, or for simply the pathway forward, that is likely blocked off until you get a certain upgrade that unlocks it for you. This formula is done plenty, and by now is perfected. So what does Prince of Persia bring to the table that is new or exciting? That is where the combat comes in. The combat involves using your upgrades, but you start off with your bread and butter, 2 swords that you can combo together with your other skills and abilities. Together, that makes for a pretty satisfying experience fighting enemies. Though don't expect them to go easy on you, but how about the story? The story has you playing as Sargon, one of the immortals of the Persian Empire. Sargon was taken in by Anahita as an orphan to be trained to the position he is in now. The game starts off on a battlefield between the Persian Empire and the invading Kushan army at the city of Persepolis. The immortals sweep in and turn the tide of battle. However, after Sargon is celebrated by the queen for his defeat of the Kushan general, Prince Ghassan is kidnapped by none other than Anahita, a betrayal. The immortals are then sent to pursue and retrieve the prince, and are led to the mysterious Mount Kath, which is where the real game starts. But now the question still stands. Pause or repeat?
Call Jake Gyllenhaal, because Prince of Persia is back in 2024, no less.
Yeah,
It's
why
been
the hell is he
so
out there
long.
filming for Roadhouse? We need
Yeah.
you here.
Yeah.
Where's my DLC? If we can get a free DLC of the Joker coming for the Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, where in the world is Jake Gyllenhaal? Where's the real protest? Where's the real rage?
I gotta make some calls. We gotta make it happen right now. But
I know.
no, really, this game came out of nowhere, honestly, a little bit, considering I don't think anyone was expecting them to go back to this series. They've only really been doing mobile games for the longest time now. And I mean, I know they did a remake a while back, but it's a remake. You know how we feel about that. It's just, it's a little lazy a little bit, you know?
Big
But
time.
at the end of the day, this game is really good at delivering you a good experience that is a Metroidvania. And it truly is a real Metroidvania in every sense of the way. You got all the backtracking, you got great combat that keeps you engaged. I think that this game really did take a lot of cues from a game like Metroid Dread, which came out a couple years ago, where there's a parry system, and that keeps you already really engaged whenever you're coming across an enemy, because you're waiting for them to attack, and when they attack, you have something to counter them with. And I really enjoyed that mechanic in Metroid Dread, and I really enjoyed it in this one as well. But we got a person here who has some choice words every time that we're talking about a 2D
you're gonna go
game.
there. Oh, you're coming after me now.
I'm curious. What do you think about this, Chris?
Okay, I'll let you know, because people, I thought this was a 2D game. But now, reading even more information about the game, they're calling it a 2.5D game. Oh, we're getting very creative with how we're describing these games. Because maybe I'm not so much of a hater for 2.5D after all. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But then again, I don't know about you, Henrik. I think it's kind of crazy that this game's worth $50. But then again, there's Mario, right? They get away with it. But you do have to kind of celebrate Prince of Persia for being a game that's been around since 2003 and has, with this game, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, has over 25 hours of gameplay. To put that into perspective, it has roughly 10 hours more gameplay than Assassin's Creed Mirage, the same studio. So that is mind-boggling to begin with. And I thought that was an excellent point that you brought up with the whole parry ordeal, because there's not really much of a blocking mechanic, but the parry is a really, really cool thing. I love fighting the smaller enemies where you get to even kick them up in the air, beat their ass, and then bring them down. And then when you got to go after some of these larger enemies or even the bosses, you definitely got to try to evade those blows, because woo, they're going to be coming after you big time. I don't know if anybody saw Asmongold playing the game. He's like, oh my God, slamming his head on the microphone. This definitely does bring out the rage in everybody. But I don't know how you feel when it comes to the story of the game, HenricK, but kind of came across a little slow in the beginning. But once you get in, it's pretty dope.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a slow burn for sure, considering there's no indication that they're going to bring in any time mechanics or anything like that at the beginning of the game. I actually thought, oh, okay, they're just going to, do more of this and not really try to hark back to any of the previous games in their mechanics of time travel and time shenanigans, all that sort of thing. And then you get to Mount Cath, and you start to see some weird things going on, like the soldiers that you were chasing, they're skeletons now. And you're like, oh, okay, so they are doing some time shenanigans in this one as well. You even get some powers, just like the previous games have done as well.
Yeah.
So I think that while it, may be seen as lazy to some people to bring back old mechanics, I think it's a good choice for them to do that because probably a lot of the people playing this game haven't played the previous Prince of Persia games.
That's a good point too, and I think maybe Ubisoft was probably had this in the back of their arsenal for the longest time and was just kind of waiting for like the perfect moment to really try to rejuvenate Prince of Persia. The one thing I will definitely give this game a lot of credit is thank the Lord it didn't become an open world game. Too many open world games. I'm sick and tired of all of them. I want a linear experience where it focuses on the story, and this is what it brings for you. I'm not going to get too much into the story details because I want you, the gamers, to have a lot of fun and explore it on your own, but man, once you start to figure out some of the secrets of the throne and even the prince's lineage, you're gonna get hooked. It's a lot of fun. Absolutely. As much as I'm not usually into this whole kind of 2D ride, the price tag is a bit much for me, but if it does come down in sales, you're definitely gonna want to gravitate around this game. For me, I'm calling it a repeat. You're gonna have a lot of fun with this, even with 25 hours worth of fun. It's a jam-packed ride and essentially kind of fun for the whole entire family.
That's actually a little bit of a shock to me. I thought you were going to say that it was a pause, mostly because of the price, because I do think it is a game that the majority of people, when they look at that price,
I'm trying to throw that off.
It's the same thing that happened. Yeah, it's the same thing that happened with Metroid Dread, bringing that up again. Everyone was looking at the price tag and was like, I don't know if we can really justify this game being the style that it is to be that pricing. I think that's a whole different conversation to be had in terms of pricing out games, because the price keeps going up every year. It feels like. But I think that the majority of people are going to look at this game and say $50, maybe I'll wait for a sale. But I will say, when that sale comes and you should buy on this game,
you're gonna get hooked.
Because it definitely is a repeat for me as well.
Yeah, just avoid all the whole pricing talks. Yeah, it's outlandish. Yeah, it needs to definitely go down. But the overall gaming experience is super, super killer. And yes, I guess the only thing I'll harper on is like, there's no Jake Gyllenhaal. I know. We really wanted to see him back.
A great feature that I think that they added for this game that the Metroidvania genre in general needed. And a lot of people are memeing about it, like, oh, wow, you guys made a screenshot feature where you can put a little marker on your map. And because they were trying to make it as like, oh, this is a revolutionary thing that we had to put so much time and effort into doing.
Right.
I think it's actually really good. It's a good feature to have, and not really that many Metroidvanias have even tried to do something in that level of let's make a way for the player to mark with a screenshot without them doing it themselves on where this thing is and what exactly it is. Other games, they just let you make little markers, and you have to just remember based on the marker what it is.
Hey, some people appreciate the tiny little things like HenricK. Me personally, I probably would never use that feature. But hey, you never know. We're all different gamers. We all have different vibes when it comes to approaching these kind of style of games. But the thing that we need to hear, though, HenricK, I don't know if I quite heard it. Was it a pause or a repeat for yourself?
It's a repeat for me as well.
All right. Hey, well, you heard the verdict, but we want to know from you gamers. Are you vibing with Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown? Is it a pause or a repeat for timeless days to come? All right.
Yeah, let us know.
That's so true, my man. But hey, we got so much more. It's a jam-packed show we got here on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. So if you're ready to rock and roll, HenricK, let's get it, fam.
You know I am. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Welcome to Patch Notes, where my co-host HenricK and I discuss gaming news, industry talk, and so much more. And while we're here, I want to let you guys know, comment live on the show. You comment inside this live stream, your voice is going to be featured live across the screen. We want you guys to join in on the conversation. So let's get it. blockbuster sensation Palworld has become the second highest all-time peak in Steam history. That is incredible considering the numbers that you see right here. The number of Steam users currently playing Palworld has exceeded 1.8 million. Palworld has not only become one of the most popular games in recent memory with 3 days of early access launch, but also one of the most controversial. A subset of artists, game developers, and other concerned gamers have taken to accusing the game of two things mainly. The first one, as you can see from this chart right here, is ripping off bits and pieces of Pokemon to assemble their pals. And second, the developer, Pocket Pair, is accused of making their hit game with AI tools after a number of tweets starting from 2021 from the studio's CEO goes viral. And we have those tweets here live on screen. If you pass it through the filter of AI, the image is often not of a specific thing. So maybe the copyright issue will be resolved? Question mark. I was surprised to see that the world is actually moving in that direction. In about 30 years, the general public's perception of copyright may have changed considerably. And as you can see from a 2021 tweet on the right side of your screen, the AI has evolved so much that I can no longer tell which one is a Pokemon. Left side Pokemon, right, or a like monster Pokemon. The right is the real one. So the follow-up is there's more. So it's not just two tweets that people are picking out. There's 4 different tweets of the CEO of Pocket Pair who created Palworld loving the idea of AI stuff. So he says, no, instead, please play AI Art Imposter. This is a real-time image generation game. Requires 4 friends. And also last, I recently saw the same thing in a video and had the same impression. We might see true AI-powered games on GPT-4 this year. And that was from April 9th, 2023. So, HenricK, the actual hard evidence that this has happened, however, does not exist as of yet. But I couldn't help but wonder, especially since our conversation from last week's show, isn't this what all the voice actors are all freaking out about? Like, why would the Screen Actors Guild sign a deal with an AI company without addressing the safeguards to protect one's piracy? How is you able to even detect any of these kind of blueprints?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Detection of this sort of thing is going to be really, really hard. There's going to be a constant battle in the next few years, I'm sure, maybe even beyond that, of people trying to create tools and ways to detect whether or not something is AI generated. And it's going to get harder and harder, even for an actual person to know, really. We have to rely on tools made by people, probably even just like counter AI in a sense, trying to detect the AI in the first place. But when this whole conversation got brought up, like, oh, did this game use AI? It really reminded me of this conversation that I had with one of my friends, one of my close friends. And he had this idea recently. It was like, let's just make a game studio. We haven't done that, because that's a big undertaking. But it's becoming easier for people to just say, let's make a game studio, and then let's use these AI tools to kind of fill in the gaps where we don't have the skills to really do some certain things, like create code and really create models and things like that take a lot of not necessarily high-end skill, but like some level of understanding, to be able to put together these things. And AI is making it a lot easier for people to get into development of games as a result of the tools that are being developed. And I think that's really why these big studios are looking at the tools, because they're looking at them as a way of speeding up the process. Rather than it take like 8 years to make a game, it might just take a couple, depending on how prevalent the tools become. I will say, though, when it comes to using AI to kind of rip off content and cut corners and things like that, that's where I don't agree. That's where I think you really have to have someone come in there and still observe that the AI is being used in a way that's I guess the word to use would be like ethical,
Yeah.
because if it's not being used in a proper way, then you are going to get a lot of people, like in the case of this, where even there isn't any evidence that they're using AI, but people are thinking that they are because it seems like it might be a little bit lazy.
Yeah, I mean, and I think there was an excellent conversation when it came around this whole AI conversation. And I know Pierce Morgan, he's got a show called Uncensored, and he had Neil deGrasse Tyson on the show. And I thought Neil deGrasse Tyson said an excellent point about AI that I think a lot of people need to even consider when it comes to this whole gaming conversation that we're having around Palworld. You know, AI can only really give you the kind of information that's only available on the internet, not an outside source. It's not a free thinker as of yet, right? You know, like, it's like, you know, is the doomsday clock there? Is it going to turn into Terminator? Is it going to think on its own? No. So there is a true possibility that, you know, AI potentially was a text to prompt saying, hey, develop me a game like Pokemon with guns and give me all these kind of elements that can kind of cater towards this experience. But before HenricK and I start to continue this conversation even further, I think it's important to showcase the commentary around Palworld that has been explosive online with the following. So the first comment that we got here is from Asmon Gold. The success of Palworld proves that the only thing customers actually care about is a good game. AI, slavery, bestiality, copyright infringement. It's a video game. These are pretend problems that people don't actually care about. Make good game equals people buy game. Simple. Everyone talking about Palworld and it using AI to make its designs, I feel like that's because AI is so prominent now. But people forget this game had a trailer featuring lots of the designs 3 years ago. This game didn't come out of nowhere and clearly had work put in. Rumors of Palworld automating art theft via AI are overblown. They have utilized traditional approaches to art theft. And the bottom tweet that he was responding to says to, quote, accidentally, end quote, create a complex model mesh with so near exact proportions is practically impossible. To repeat that improbability throughout your roster doesn't pass the sniff test. Hashtag Palworld, hashtag Pokemon. Palworld's overwhelming success is the first step in the normalization of generative AI slope games, which is really, really depressing. 10 years ago, an asset flip game like this would have been relentlessly ridiculed. On the Palworld AI/copyright issues, it is vital to remember the vast majority of gamers simply do not care about the behind-the-scenes issues of games. They're not on Reddit. They're not in the Discord groups. They're not reading forums. They're not even reading tweets. And last, this entire thread perfectly summarizes a lot of what I see in Palworld too. There is no proof that Palworld is just AI generated, and it's frankly shocking to see so many people just run with it. Okay, yeah, but maybe they started off with the mesh, you know, and they did art theft, and then maybe to finish half of the game they used AI. I don't know. We're going to soon figure that out pretty soon. But HenricK, I mean, whether it's AI or stolen assets, who's to blame?
That's the question, I guess, right? That everyone's trying to figure out who is the problem here. And I don't think it's the AI because, like a lot of people made a point about, is that this game didn't come out of nowhere. This game was already worked on. Clearly, they had people actually on their team working on assets and making sure that they were, you know, what they are now. I will say, to quote Oscar Wilde, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So are we now going to say that all those Souls-like games that look like the Dark Souls games almost to the T, are those now also in the same realm of, oh, this is a bad game because it copies this other game so heavily?
See, that's a good point, because you can also make the reference between Spider-Man and Superman. Spider-Man works at the Daily Bugle. Where does Superman work? At the Daily Planet. Oh my Lanta, they didn't even try to switch it up. Or what about Invincible Season 2, Part 2 coming out? Doesn't that kind of remind you of DC? Doesn't that kind of remind you of Marvel? No one necessarily owns a superhero, but I do have to kind of feel like some of the blame has to go towards Valve on a level. And the reason why I say this is if a good majority of people are saying, okay, AI is out the window, okay, let's throw that out. But if we're getting like a third of the community all saying there's art theft, well, have we not remembered last year, Only Up? Remember that game?
That's true.
That game was literally taken off in July over stolen assets.
Yeah, but I think that the differentiation here is if it's stolen assets in the sense of they just took assets from the store and didn't create stuff based on other things. Because if they created things based off of other things, those are their own assets that they've made themselves. Whereas an asset flip, like one of those commenters said, is you go to whatever engine, the Unreal Engine, Unity store engine, their stores, and you just basically pull assets that other people have made out of packs or, not even just packs, just, individual by themselves. You buy them and you just put them in the game. That's really what Only Up was. It was just a bunch of assets being put into a game and not even really much.
So are you saying it was
involved.
just a bit more easier to detect with that space compared to this one where it's going to take a while? But
yeah,
even
because
it's
it's most likely just going to be, we got inspired by this design from Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a good point. I mean, even on my TikTok, I was even kind of making a joke. It's like, guys, you could be saying that they took from Pokemon, but hey, did Pokemon take inspiration from Dragon Quest? Because Dragon Quest came first. So there's a lot to blame.
And I'm sure Dragon Quest
around.
took inspiration from something else as well.
Exactly. That is so true. But, on a final note on this for me, I have to laugh because I do think Asmongold and a few other people did perfectly lay it out. A majority of gamers just don't give a shit. If the game's good, you're going to play the game. And instead of actually being more concerned about AI, we got groups like PETA. For example, they just went viral this morning around Palworld, and you're thinking, why is PETA involved in the video game space? Well, they are upset and have heard from vegans, because supposedly I just learned this as of today. Month of January is veganary. It's vegan month. So a game like Palworld, which allows you to have the opportunity to eat your pals or, or make them go to work and harvest and all that kind of fun jazz. Well, they are calling, and I kid you not, they are calling for a vegan guide created inside that game. Have we gone a bit too far? I mean, think of it like
when
this.
Does PETA not want to be in headlines?
Yeah, right. I mean, where was PETA when Baldur's Gate 3, Game of the Year, by the way, at the Game Awards? Where were they when animal cruelty and bestiality was the major news for 3 months straight, where you can literally have sex with the bear in the video game? No word from PETA. And then the
It's a little bit different considering it was a druid in a wild shape, but I mean, yeah, still a bear.
A little bit different? I mean, come on, bestiality is bestiality. That's animal cruelty. You'd think, like, if you did something like that, oh my gosh, you'd think that they would be all over it. But clearly, that was not the case. And oh my Lanta. So, hey, we want to know from you gamers, do you believe that Palworld is AI generated? Or did the creators at Pocket Pair steal assets? Or flip
which side
assets?
Are you on?
Which side are you on? HenricK, set the tone. What else are we going to be talking about here on Patch Notes?
Yeah, so we got our first look.
Hey, restart it. Restart it over.
Start that over again. Got a little frog in my throat for a second there. We got our first look at Machine Games' Indiana Jones game, which is officially titled Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. And we do have a little picture here showing a little bit of what it's like. And while watching the official gameplay reveal trailer, we heard a little very familiar voice coming out of Indiana Jones's mouth. Prominent voice actor Troy Baker. Only this time, he was doing a Harrison Ford impression, and it's pretty good, actually. But we do have the clip, so check it out for yourself.
Patron of the fallen angels. Protector of the Chirkulimani. The Great Circle.
So Troy Baker's voice is extremely prevalent in the video game industry, appearing in numerous games each year since 2004. So he's been around for a while.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, and contributor Tessa Core from The Gamer has written an article asking the question, who on earth wants to hear the same 3 voices in every game? And we do have a picture of these 3 voices that they're expressing their opinion about, and it's Troy Baker, Yuri Lowenthal, and Nolan North, who have a track record of being cast in big budget games, which is not a matter of fatigue at hearing the same voices all the time. It's more a matter of monopoly. The fact that they are cast in so many things.
Things.
Yeah, and Troy Baker once joked at the Game Awards that people who want to act in video games need only do 2 things. Roll the clip.
Thank you. You know, people often ask me, how does one get into acting in video games? And the process is surprisingly simple. Step 1, save up your money, buy a decent microphone, and then wait for Nolan North and I to die.
As you can see, despite the monopoly of these prominent actors, which is very clear, they're even joking about it themselves.
They know. They ain't dumb.
Yeah, they know. The potential use of AI technology could make it even harder for smaller actors to break into the industry, because now they're going to be using that instead. But this didn't stop gamers from being excited with getting their hands on the new Indiana Jones game with the following comments.
Yeah, let's go through them.
Yeah.
First comment we got here is, Troy Baker went from playing Nathan Drake's brother to playing Indiana Jones himself. What a legend. And you might be wondering, gamers out there who don't follow voiceover actors, who's the voiceover actor for Nathan Drake? Do you know HenricK the Wreck?
Well, it's Troy Baker.
Well, actually, it's Nolan North. You're the brother.
Oh. You're right.
I feel like I set you up for that one.
Yeah, I was misreading and mishearing what you said.
You were following the comment.
Yeah, but I mean, that just proves that it's one of those 3 people that we were expressing.
Exactly. And so the next comment we got here is, this is incredible. It's literally everything I could want in an Indiana Jones game. Mystical puzzles and beating Nazis. And Indiana's new voice actor is spot on. Is that Troy Baker as Indy? So I love that people recognize, love the new voiceover actor, and then people do sense to go, oh, yeah, I do recognize that voice. Man, this looks dope. Troy nails Harrison's infliction and everything. Top-notch work. Can't wait. Looks pretty good. Always excited for a new Machine Games game. And Troy Baker killed it with that Harrison Ford impression. Troy Baker did an amazing job as Indy, not just the voice, the little expressions and the mannerisms that Harrison did as the character. So,
and if you're thinking, well, if he's doing an impression of Harrison Ford, why didn't they just get Harrison Ford? 1, he's probably really expensive. 2, I don't think he wants to voice act. He's
I don't
retired.
think so. Yeah, he's in his mid-70s, I believe. You know, that's not something for him. But, I mean, you read these comments, you clearly see people are vibing with it. They don't have a problem, like the contributor from The Gamer is clearly expressing in her most recent article. So, but that leaves me with the question, though, HenricK. I mean, do you find this as a problem, or should studios hire who or what they feel is best for the job?
Well, I think in regards to this, yes, it does kind of suck for the new voice actors that want to get into the industry, that there's these big giants in the industry who are constantly sweeping up all these amazing roles constantly. But you really have to give it to them, that they really always do a great job in every character that they do. Like you saw in that little clip of Indiana Jones, he's doing a great impression of Harrison Ford.
That's
and I
really
believe,
well done.
Yeah, and I really think that the game as a whole, his voice acting is going to be spot on, just like every other game he's in. And it's the same thing with every other of the 3 voice actors that we explained about. And then even beyond them, there's names like Jennifer Hale, who was called in to be the voice of Bayonetta after the whole Bayonetta 3 original voice actor fiasco.
That's right.
And guess what? She sounds almost exactly like the original Bayonetta voice. So all these big actors are in the industry. And it's not just a thing in video gaming. It's a thing in animation as well, that there's not really that much of introducing new voices. So when AI
But does
comes
that
to
pull you out of the
mix as
experience,
well,
though? But I mean, does that pull you out of the experience? Like, you know, you got Troy Baker as Joel in The Last of Us. He was also the voice of the main character in Infamous, you know, The Last Son, you know, those kind of games. He was also Two-Face and did Joker voice at one point in the Batman Origins. So do you get sick and tired of hearing the same voice? Because that's really kind of the overall conversation. Does it sway you? I mean, is this just kind of like this?
Not really. I wouldn't say that it breaks my immersion to be playing a game and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's Nolan North again. No, it doesn't break my immersion. It would break my immersion if it was bad acting. I will say that. But if it's not bad acting, I think it's fine. But at the same time, you know, maybe we should get some new faces in there, because I'm sure that other smaller voice actors can do a great job as well.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, if you're comfortable with Troy Baker's voice now, then hey, shoot, he should just retire for 5 years from now and sign with Replica Studios and ink himself an AI deal, and then you just hear the same voice over and over and over again. To me, I do find this a bit problematic on a level. You know, you definitely feel like there's a lot of potential out there where we can, you know, expound upon, you know, those 3 legendary voiceover actors. And I love that clip, you know, that Troy Baker even says at the Game Awards, because it's so true. I mean, real recognize real, right? The dude is super badass. It's not easy being a voiceover actor, and, you know, but you also want to see more windows open up for more prominent talent to get their foot, you know, or their feet inside the door. And it's just kind of unfortunate because, yeah, you know, I can make a joke about Troy Baker inking a deal with an AI deal, but think of it like this. There's families now with their relatives that have passed away, and now they can get involved in the process. They're thinking probably, oh my gosh, I never thought that we would ever make any voiceover money because we never actually acquired any of that asset. But now that they passed away, family estates can now get involved, and then some of these characters or voice actors that were once with us can essentially still live on, and everybody's making money. Does that deviate the level of, you know, expense towards the actor if we start going down this AI route? I mean, I'm not too sure. I mean, you know.
Yeah, it's something that's going to be developing as the years go by, for sure. I don't know if there's really a right or wrong in whether it's okay or not, because it's so brand new still, and we're still trying to figure everything out. I believe right now, though, that if it's done respectfully, it's okay. But yeah, that is, you know, to an extent, because take an example like in the Phantom Liberty DLC for Cyberpunk 2077, the voice actor for Victor Vector, the Ripper Doc, he passed away, and unfortunately, he didn't have the chance to actually finish his voice lines for the DLC before he passed away. But the studio reached out to the family and said, hey, could we replicate his voice respectfully in the game? We don't want to cast someone else because he's such a pivotal character for the main character that if we get a new voice in here and there's this disjointed performance between the DLC and the main game, it just wouldn't be respectful for his original performance. And we're not going to go through and replace the whole performance with someone else, because that would be also disrespectful.
Yeah.
So they reached out and the family said, yes, that is okay. We'll do that. We'll work with you and figure something out. And I think that they actually did a respectful job with it in the game. You never really tell that it's an AI for the bits that it is an AI.
I mean, that's definitely an angle. But then there's also people that can also make the argument saying, hey, listen, look, you know, when it comes to, you know, your favorite animations, you know, like Chris Pratt, for example, like, why are we hiring all these celebrity names to sell a game? If the game's good, you're going to play the game. And I think that's kind of what Tessa Core maybe might be suggesting too. It's like, listen, go and support the new up-and-comers. You do not all the time have to go for these AAA actors because, one, we love you, Troy Baker, but we're not buying the game because of you. We're buying it because we're finally getting an Indiana Jones experience. Let's just be real. So I'm with Tessa on that point, if that's what she means. She doesn't really necessarily state that in her article. But hey, Tessa, if you see this, you want to comment on it, definitely would love to know your thoughts. But hey, You, the gamers, let us know. Do you find this being a problem? Should the monopoly be snapped? Are you fatigued? Are you sick and tired of hearing the same voices? Let us know what's good.
Do you even care about who's cast as a voice in a game, or do you just care about whether the gameplay is good? Because I think that's what your point is, right? If the gameplay is good, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. But hey, let's go ahead and switch gears because we got so much we want to discuss here on Patch Notes. And Harmonix is ending Rock Band DLC releases after 16 years and roughly 2,800 downloadable releases. Holy cow, 2,800 DLC songs? That's a lot. And so the studio's future will transition away from the Rock Band franchise, and they are moving and pushing forward with Fortnite Festival. That is the Rock Band-like game mode for Fortnite that launched in December. And when Fortnite Festival first got announced, the excitement around the new game mode came across as a bit mixed, I would say. And so we're going to go ahead and look at some of these comments. The first one we got is, this can be summarized as, this is not a full $60 Rock Band game. It's a lot of fun, but definitely not a finished experience. Hopefully more players playing can get more focus on development for this mode. As well, progression is way too slow. It's fun, but nowhere near perfect yet. Too few songs, plus the fun part of playing Guitar Hero and Rock Band was practicing songs over and over again to perfect them. Doesn't work when songs are rotated out. That's a good point. Never thought about that. This mode is meh. Like, it was fun back in the old Guitar Hero days, but meh. Compared to the rocket racing in the new addicting Lego. Playing Butter Barn Hoedown with a group of 4 friends is a 10 out of 10 experience, so there is a positive towards this. And last, my girlfriend fell in love with Fortnite because of the Fortnite Festival mode. She's been playing it all day long. Her face while playing is 10 out of 10. Oh, man, I bet you're so excited, bro. I know the girls that play Fortnite that don't even shoot and they just drive around in their cars. Now you finally have a game mode where you feel like you can join along with them. Isn't that something special? Isn't Harmonix doing the job that every couple needs? But HenricK, is Harmonix making a mistake moving on from Rock Band as a whole to fully embrace Fortnite Festival?
Well, I think the problem that they're facing is that they haven't released a big hit game in forever. And I don't think that the gaming industry as a whole would really embrace the kind of style of game that they had anymore, because they're moving away from, let's have experiences with a group of people, and more, let's have an experience online with a group of people, not in person, which is really what Guitar Hero and Rock Band was. And that's why
you got me all sad, man. It's like the days of split screen and Halo and all and Medal of Honor. Like, yeah, you're right.
And Halo doesn't even have split screen anymore.
That's a good point. You know, I didn't even think about that.
That is a franchise that was known to have split screen, and it doesn't have split screen in Halo Infinite.
But
think about that.
And I know that, you know, Harmonix is like, don't freak out. Pretty soon on Fortnite Festival, we're working on bringing those Rock Band 4 instruments into Fortnite in the future, which that can be pretty exciting. But I think the problem is a lot of these like free-to-play songs are just not that cool right now. I'm starting to think that they're gonna make their own like music library subscription. So maybe they're potentially gonna work on making licensing deals with the artist, or maybe even the artists don't even have a say because it goes down to the record label, and then they will be able to ink out a deal with like Capitol Records, Rise Records, you name it, any kind of outlet destination, and they will potentially bring that music over to Fortnite Festival. But like some of the songs too, it's just like, I mean, how many? Probably a handful, like 30 songs are available. So that's kind of, you know, when originally you paid $60 for like 60 games, now you have this experience, which is for free as of for now. And who knows? I mean, do you think they're going to bring back the whole shebang? Will karaoke come, or do you think they're only going to focus on the guitar elements? I mean, I would buy a drum controller if they so choose to make one.
I mean, it'd be really cool if they did, because I think it would be a missed opportunity if they just focused on guitar and didn't bring in vocals and drums and even bass. You could even do that. Just bring in a little bass guitar little mode. But I would imagine that right now they're just going to focus on the guitar aspect of things. But you have a good point. They do need to bring in more songs that people know that are iconic songs, because that's really what was fueling the whole Guitar Hero and Rock Band craze when it really was at its peak. Because you could go to someone and be like, "Oh yeah, I played Expert Through the Fire and the Flames and got 90% or above on the notes. Like beat that," and it's just like you know immediately what song that is.
Because that was obviously with the Guitar Hero days. And remember, Guitar Hero even tried to experiment with, Guitar Hero Live. And that was around in 2018 and quickly died off. And so a lot of people feel like now with the support of Epic Games, they will potentially bring back the music gaming era. So we'll see what's good, but hey.
Well, there's still fans playing the Guitar Hero games in arcades, and
that's
I have a coworker who just the other day he was saying, and to kind of paraphrase him, he was like, "Yeah, I've been asking a bunch of my family members, and I'm Filipino, so I've got a big family, and I'm asking them, do you have a Wii or do you have like a Guitar Hero accessory or whatever?
I love it.
I'm trying to put together something, and so I can play." So there's still people out there that would like an experience of what this could potentially be.
I mean, it would be so cool if they could find a way where they could even bring a keyboard in. I even remember, I think it was with Guitar Hero. Remember they had the DJ? That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of opportunities for Fortnite Festival to really even encourage kids to even pick up an instrument. I mean, that's been on a heavy decline over the years because I'm a musician myself. I understand you go into Sam Ash, you go into Guitar Center, guitars and amps aren't getting much cheaper. And I know that's why it's very hesitant for a lot of parents to even fork the money forward to even get their kid invested into music. But if Fortnite Festival becomes that outlet that encourages new generation and even the old to embrace playing music for real, man, that would be a total win. And then who knows, maybe Fortnite Festival might be able to figure out how they done it with I'm blanking out on the franchise. Rocksmith. Rocksmith was an amazing game, which I still have on my PS4. I play it every once in a blue moon, where you can actually plug in a real guitar or bass and play along in real time. If Fortnite Festival can implement that, oh my gosh, the streamings are going to be awesome. The game's going to be awesome. There is so much potential. And, we even also got a comment here. Oh, but that was not the one. Oh, there it is. Dude, that was Prime Gaming. And I'm with you on that one. But, hey, did you think that was Prime Gaming? I don't know if we heard that from you, Henrik. Do you vibe with music games?
There's a lot of good memories of games like that, going to a friend's house and playing that for hours.
Oh, but you're not vibing
on
with it. You're not vibing with it. I can
As
hear
it is right now, it's a little, I'll pass. But if they improve it, that's something to consider having in the rotation with some friends.
That's a good point. So, hey, let us know what's good. Are you guys going to be vibing with this if they ditch the controller and start actually developing gaming instrument controllers? Let us know what's good. But hey, Henrik, let's start to switch some momentum. Let us know what's going on, because I know this has been kind of ruffling people's feathers. Break it down for us.
Yeah, so an executive at Assassin's Creed maker Ubisoft has said gamers will need to, quote, get comfortable, unquote, not owning their games before video game subscriptions can truly take off. And as you can imagine, because just as the Chris's noise said, as you can imagine, this set off a barrage of angry gamers attacking the director of subscriptions at Ubisoft with the following comments.
Yeah, let's break it down. Ubisoft can get used to nobody playing their games. Ubisoft needs to get comfortable with the FTC regulation. I think it's now okay for the gaming community to pirate all of their games now. Just it is okay to emulate older Nintendo games. Then Ubisoft is going to have to get comfortable with not making any money. I mean, that's exactly what's happening with streaming services. You don't own any of the movies that are being streamed. Even the purchases, I believe, are only temporarily, so long as you have that service. With physical media dying because people are lazy, this is inevitable. Lazy? Maybe we just don't have the space to be holding around a bunch of VHSs and DVDs. Oh, I forgot. We have a younger generation. They don't know what a VHS is. Move along.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah, what's that? I will die on the hill that Ubisoft is worse than EA and has been for years. So there's a lot of people hating it, Henry.
Cue the Twitter meme, they beating your ass in the quote retweets.
That's so true. But like HenricK, we got from PlayStation Now to Xbox Game Pass and from GeForce Now to EA Play. Will a consumer shift happen among gamers?
It's going to be a transition for sure over the next 5-10 years, that there's going to be less of physical gaming and more of cloud gaming. I see it. Chris sees it. I'm sure you as the viewer probably see it also happening. Right now, the biggest hurdle for that is internet infrastructure, because there's a lot of games that you don't want to play on a cloud service because of the latency, even though the latency isn't that big. If you're thinking about latency when you just died to someone in Call of Duty, it's not a good thought to have. But I don't know. I feel like there's still something missing outside of the infrastructure issue. I feel there's something missing with gaming subscriptions that is really holding it back from being more prevalent. And I think it's that people kind of like owning games. And people like having the ability to just pop
be the devil's advocate.
Be like, I'm paying for this.
I hear you, but I could be the devil's advocate. I could get real comfortable with not owning my games, and I can tell you why. I don't want to pay $80 for a game. I don't. I mean, I grew up paying $40, and that was kind of like the flat fee. Then it went up $5, then $10, and then another $5, and then another $5, and another $5. It's like, oh my gosh, when are we gonna stop? I mean, I was literally just bitching about a $50 2.5D game called Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, but then we got Mario that wants to sell their game for $70. It's like, it's so criminal. So that's why I truly believe they're purposely, and that's why Nintendo joined Microsoft and Sony. They wanted to join at the $70 mark because they want to eventually push y'all out from buying physical media, and then you're gonna latch on to Netflix gaming. You're going to latch on to Amazon Luna, your smart TV. You won't even need a Fire Stick. You're going to be able to just connect your Wi-Fi directly to your TV, and you're going to be able to stream within 10 to 15 seconds the minute you hit that game, and you're going to have a plethora of gigantic games, a massive amount of games to be playing from. And so, I mean, I'm already comfortable not owning games. It's not for me anymore. It's just not. I mean, who on the shelf? Who am I going to show it to?
That's fair enough. I will say there's always going to be that subset of gamers, though, that are going to want to own a game, whether it be to display it on the wall or even not to display it on the wall, just to have the game and not have to pay monthly for it. Because there's always something that doesn't feel good about having to pay monthly for so many subscription services. You got Spotify, Netflix, any other video streaming service you pay for, because I'm sure you don't pay for just one if you really look at your bills.
No, nobody does.
Everything's not on one. It's on like 5 different ones.
And we just got the recent news that at a shareholders meeting for Netflix, for example, because they just signed that blockbuster deal with the WWE to bring, WWE Raw every Monday live to Netflix, they're already saying expect a subscription hike. So when are people going to start fighting back? I mean, I've been already kind of sounding the alarm, letting you guys know when Netflix gaming really starts to ramp up, oh my gosh, it's going to be really expensive. And then they're most likely going to re-implement the tier system, and then it's going to be one big mess, and then we're all going to start saying, we regret cutting the cable. Can we get it, please, another alternative of a dish or a direct TV? But man, if you're upset with getting comfortable with not owning your games, I gotta tell you, you might be mad at this whole Ubisoft ordeal. Well, has anybody heard about what's going on in Like a Dragon, the game that's about to be coming out pretty soon? Because let me show you this chart on screen for everybody that's tuning in live on our YouTube, Twitch, or X. And so as you can see, you should be more outraged over the new installment of Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, for locking its new Game Plus mode behind a more expensive editions. That is a feature that's normally a free of charge, which is now being paywalled behind the deluxe and ultimate editions. This is totally out of control, especially considering we know that like Spider-Man 2 is about to be dropping for free, their new Game Plus pretty soon. And for people that are wondering, what the hell is a new Game Plus? Well, new Game Plus means when you beat the story and you get all your perks and your abilities and etc., you can play. You could start all over, but all those assets come with you.
Yeah,
why not just leave that available? That's stupid. That's something everybody should get behind.
Absolutely. And that's not even a subscription. That is a game that you are buying full price, and they don't include something that's already included in previous games. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't know which executive or whoever it was that made that call, but you suck.
Yeah, you definitely do suck. And I know this is going to be like the perfect transition into our next subject because, you know, like you kind of referenced, you know, some people do want physical media. And if physical media starts slowly dying away with, you know, video game, you know, discs or even actually the covers, right? Then there's most likely that will have more value than the next topic of conversation that I'm about to break down to, because this, I'm telling you gamers, is completely mind-boggling. I don't know how this works out. I'm just as confused as you will be right now, but let's break it down because there's a meta market wrapped up in the Counter-Strike ecosystem that's worth billions of dollars, and it's entirely virtual. And if you don't know what I mean, let me show you. There's a stat here on screen, and it's from CSGOCaseTracker.com, claimed that more than 400 million cases were unboxed in the year 2023, with Counter-Strike players spending a whopping $980 million on case keys. That is insane. And there was a case called the Dreams and Nightmares case, and that case brought Valve a whopping $126.3 million alone. And so, as you can see right here, HenricK, I just got to ask before we even dive into this, are you someone who purchases cases or cosmetic skins?
I try to avoid them as much as I can. The game that I've probably spent the most money in is Apex Legends. And even then, most people, it was only $50.
You're lucky to stick your wallet
that's
deep.
A lie. That is a lie. Looking back, I don't play Overwatch anymore, but when I played Overwatch 1, not 2, I did spend a couple $100, or not a couple, like $100 and maybe $10 more outside of that on loot packs to get skins during events. But like, this is a whole different level of paying money for skins.
But then that's like, this is like a prime example of like why people are like, why do we keep getting these live service games?
Exactly. It makes some money. And if you didn't think that Valve had any value outside of just selling games, no, you're wrong.
Oh,
they make
my gosh.
tons of money, clearly.
Clearly making a ton of money. And the meta market in Counter-Strike doesn't feel real in the fact that gamers purchase virtual guns or knife skins is beyond me. But let's show you guys the most expensive of them all, if you're even lucky to pull it out of a case, because yeah, we just broke down that over close to $1 billion was made for Counter-Strike. But what happens to the people that acquire these knife and gun skins? Well, like, supposedly there's a market where you can actually sell this stuff. And the very first one I'm going to show you here live on screen is a Karambit. Is that what they call it? I don't even know.
Karambit, yeah.
Yeah, Karambit. Case hardened, blue gem, runs for $1.5 million. This exact knife is almost a mythical skin, according to Counter-Strike. Once bought for $100,000, now has a price tag of $1.5 million. And
So
part
here's
of
the
the
question.
reason, sure, go for it.
If you unbox this, are you selling it or are you keeping it?
I am
This is life-changing money, Chris.
No. I'm absolutely moving on and dumping it right away. Because people were literally like 3 months ago saying, oh, man, I don't know if I really am vibing with this whole Counter-Strike 2. I think it's going to die in like a couple of years. Dude, you bought it $100,000, which is beyond me. I don't even want to know the story.
We have
Maybe
this
I do.
comment
Maybe a
here
little bit.
from
WTF, right? Like,
cute.
how does that make any sense? But like, you might be wondering, right? WTF? How does that even happen, or how does the value even go that high? Well, part of the reason is the chance of opening the same knife from cases in Counter-Strike is claimed to be roughly 1 in 371 million. That's why it is so pricey. But let me show you another skin that is worth a lot of dinero. The next one we're going to show here is the Souvenir AWP Dragon Lore, which is going around $50,000 to $200,000. The most expensive is the Souvenir version, as you see here on screen, which can fetch more than $150,000 if it is factory new. Okay, that's kind of funny. It's virtual.
Yeah.
What are we talking
there's
about?
A condition on the skin.
Yeah, they say if you pull out even a worse condition of this same gun, you're still likely to get $50,000. What? Like, where are people making these monies? And it's beyond me. And let me show you another one, because we got another AK-47 case hardened. It is the 661 edition. It goes for about $40,000 to $200,000. And similar to the case hardened knives, case hardened AK skins can also sell for exuberant amount of money depending on the pattern. While most AK-47 case hardened skins are only a few $100s, a few. If you pull it, sell it. Pattern 661 has estimated value of around sometimes $40 to $200,000, depending again on the condition. And oh my gosh, sports gloves. Sports gloves? Really? Sports gloves?
Not even the gun.
Not even the gun. The sports glove? But again, this is factory new. We just broke down what that means about factory new, because it is extremely rare to get this glove in factory new, and they are cheaper in worse wear. So the field tested sports gloves go for about $2,000, they claim. And so, you know, Henrik, the more and more I think about this, will we ever see a point where Counter-Strike skins start to degrade? I'm starting to think, was Counter-Strike an NFT before NFT was even a terminology? What have I been missing?
I'm thinking that, screw the casino, go to Counter-Strike 2, man. Like,
or screw playing Apex and buying cases. Play Counter-Strike, and if you're one of those kind of guys that get a hard on, with your weapon skin, you might as well invest all your money into, buying cases in Counter-Strike. I mean, myself, I don't buy cases. I just enjoy the ride, and I enjoy screwing up your time inside your gaming lobby, because I'm a smoke you out. You know what I'm saying? No, maybe not, but just the fact that there's something brewing up in the realm of Counter-Strike like this. Is this all a facade? I mean, this is kind of the joke when it comes to cryptocurrency, right? Like, how do you put a value towards something if you can't get a large community behind it? Oh, okay, interesting. We got a comment here live. It goes, but that's the skin itself. What about the amount you have to spend on just the boxes themselves? Are you actually getting the worth of the gun skin back, or are you still negative in money? That's a good point. I mean, the one guy that got his gun at a value of $1.5 million is going to argue and say, no, it actually has been working out great because I only spent $100,000. If you have $100,000.
Only. I took out a small loan, but it paid off.
It's wild beyond belief. The fact that anybody even pays $2,000 for, a worn sports glove is beyond me. But hey, if you're somebody that wants to be a part of this ride, and if you think that this is something that's truly going to be setting sail compared to that NFT monkey card or the NFT Donald Trump card, Maybe that's what Trump needs to do. You'll just get like a Counter-Strike skin or something
Yeah,
like
he's got to
that.
be selling Counter-Strike skins instead.
Yeah,
you know,
with
that'd
the
be more value
661
right there.
AK-47. We don't want to give him any more ideas. But hey, this was an amazing conversation that we had. But hey, do you think this is a facade? Do you think this is all just a lie? Do you think CSGO is onto something? Hey, let us know what's good. But everybody that's been joining the conversation, we appreciate you guys so much. It's definitely feels like this has been worth the time switch. Prime time, baby. We love doing this. And so don't forget to tune in every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Every Wednesday, we're going to be bringing Rage Quit to you guys live on YouTube, Twitch, or X. And we definitely want to take a moment right now to show our QR code. So if you're not following my YouTube channel, go ahead and scan, take a screenshot, like, share, and subscribe. You know the drill, fam. And also, we have HenricK the Rex YouTube channel. So do your due diligence. We always have amazing things cooking up beyond Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. And I know, HenricK, you're going to be doing something right now. Or after the show, at least. You're going to take a little break. And then what you planning on doing on your stream later tonight?
So I had some plans, like I said in the first show of this season at the beginning of the year. I had some plans for more content for my personal channel as well as for here. And I've already enacted some of that. I got some memes cooking. I got some more content cooking for the YouTube channel and other platforms. And tonight at 8 o'clock, we're going to be doing an after show for this where I'm going to be playing Palworld for the first time and kind of seeing what the game's like, getting used to it a little bit a day before my friends and I want to come and hop into a world together and figure things out. So join me there on my Twitch account. It'll be there that I will be streaming it. And yeah, I'm just going to have some fun doing that. And I might also show some behind the scenes of what goes on with making the videos and content for this show as well. That'll go up tomorrow on the channel.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking forward to checking out HenricK the Rex stream. I'm watching him dive in first on Palworld. Trust me, I'm going to be playing the game pretty soon too. But I don't know about you guys. I'm a little bit of a hater on survival games. I'm not going to lie. Like Lego Survival, that seemed like that was something that was there and then no one cares about, or Ark Survivals. But hey, maybe this is the new game. You're going to find out. Check it out, HenricK the Rex stream. But also, you guys can check out the ChrisCollinsShow.com. I got plenty of interviews with a lot of amazing film directors, artists, and so much more. So join the ride, see what's good. But for now, we will see you next week, Wednesday, on prime time at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll see you real soon, fam. Peace.
See ya.